Hello, 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 guys. We are live. क्या हाल चाल हैं सबके? व्हाट्सअप व्हाट्सअप सॉरी 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 10 मिनट्स लेट हो गया मैं थोड़ा सा आई वाज स्टक. व्हाट इज़ अप गाइस? एक बार मेरे को देखने तो स्ट्रीम लाइव हो गई है ना. देन वी विल बी ऑल इन. ओके यस वी आर लाइव. माय बैड. थोड़ा सा मैं लेट हो गया. एक सेकंड दो मेरे को. यस. ओके डोक्स. क्या हाल चाल सबके? अच्छा, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टू ऑल द पीपल वॉचिंग, हमारा स्ट्रीम का ये टॉपिक्स थोड़ा अप डाउन चल रहा है. तो आज जो हम कवर कर रहे हैं वो है फंक्शंस. ठीक है, फंक्शंस कवर करने वाले हैं हम. तो एवरी वन हु इज़ वॉचिंग कैन राइट अ हाई इन द चैट क्विक. जल्दी से एक हाई लिख दो चैट में. एंड वील वेट फॉर एवरीबडी टू ज्वाइन इन. जल्दी से एक हाई लिख दो चैट में. हेलो हेलो ओ माय. हाय हाय अनमोल. Just gonna wait for 2 more minutes for everybody to join in. Come on, guys. Hi in the chat. Quick. Everyone. Hello, Abhishek. Anmol, we'll be using C++ and we'll be understanding functions today. आज functions पढ़ने वाले हम. Okay. नहीं, आज functions पढ़ेंगे अभिषेक. आज pattern questions नहीं है. इतने पसंद आएगा तुम लोगों को pattern questions. यार बहुत येलो येलो वीडियो आ रही है मेरी. एक सेकंड रुकना गाइस. कूल, व्हाटएवर. मास्टर कार्ड एम, मास्टर कार्ड में एसडी की ओपनिंग है, डीएसए में लीड कोड के 500. हाँ इनफ है यार अभिषेक, अगर 500 क्वेश्चंस किए हैं तो गुड है. लेकिन एक चीज़ याद रखना, वेन एवर यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग क्वेश्चंस तो डू नॉट फॉरगेट वन थिंग, कि कभी कभी क्या होता है कि तुम्हारे को जैसे कोई फॉर एग्जांपल क्वेश्चन नहीं आया, तो तुम क्या करते हो, तुमने उसको यू नो व्हाट यू जनरली वुड डू इज यू वुड स्टडी द टॉपिक, उसका आंसर देखते हो, समझते हो और क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लेते हो. सो इफ यू आर लुकिंग एट अ सॉल्यूशन ऑफ अ क्वेश्चन एंड सॉल्विंग इट, रिमेंबर टू रिवाइज दैट क्वेश्चन अगेन एंड अगेन. आई एम श्योर 500 क्वेश्चंस में से बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस ऐसे होंगे जो तुम्हें नहीं आते होंगे, तो तुमने उसके आंसर्स आंसर्स देख के और तुमने वो किया होगा, क्या बोलते हैं, सॉल्व किया होगा. तो उन क्वेश्चंस को रिवाइज कर लेना, क्योंकि वो क्वेश्चंस अगर तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू में आ गए तो तुम नहीं कर पाओगे. ठीक है. यहाँ क्या लग रहा है मुझे. अंडरस्टूड. चलो, let's start with the functions. Can somebody tell me what functions are in programming? What is a function? What's a function? Anybody who knows what a function is? Anyone who knows what a function is? Function in. So your voice is not audible. Please speak later. Okay, एक second रुको. Give me a sec. Is my voice audible now? I hope it's audible now. Right? मैंने माइक थोड़ा पास कर लिया है. अब ऑडिबल है तिवारी जी? ऑडिबल? Yes or no? Hello, hello Palashi. Audible? Perfect. चलो, तो एनीवन नोज व्हाट अ फंक्शन इज? नहीं, देख के सॉल्व करो, लेकिन अगर एक बार देख के सॉल्व किया तो वापस से रिवाइज करो, मैं ये कह रहा हूं. 2-3 बार उसको बाद में प्रैक्टिस कर लेना, अगर तुमने देख के सॉल्व किया है तो उन क्वेश्चंस को मार्क करते रहा करो जो तुम देख के सॉल्व कर रहे हो. कूल. सो नोबडी नोज व्हाट अ फंक्शन इज. किसी को नहीं पता फंक्शन क्या होता है. ठीक है, देखो, व्हाट एक्चुअली हैपेंस is whenever you write a specific code, for example, you are writing, say, a sum of two numbers, right? So what do? You go int main, and then you go say int a is equal to 5, b is equal to 10, and then you go cout a plus b. That's it, right? This is what you write in the sum of two numbers, correct? Function basically multiple tasks perform, then we write a function. Function is a block of code to solve a specific task. Yes, Karnataka Queen, correct. Function, Harshit, you are also right. It performs a specific task, but the main say definition for function would be कि भाई function is basically an element of code, an element of code that we use to say कि rather than writing the same code over and over and over and over again, I would write a block of code, or I would write a function. A function would execute that block of code in a one line code. ठीक है, बताता हूँ कैसे. For example, if I say that this is a, say, three 4 line code, right? 1 2 3 4 line code, for example. Now if I'm just writing 4 lines of code, it's okay. I'll just solve this. Abhishek, give me some time. I'll answer your doubt. ठीक है? तो होता क्या है कि if these 4 lines of code is something that I'm writing once, that's okay, right? But if I have to do the same operation 100 times, so I'll have to 100 times write this, which means I'll have to write around 400 lines of code. For example, I'm just giving a rough example, correct? But if I make a function out of this, okay, for example, I say int sum int a comma b cout a plus b, that's it. Now this function would basically add a and b. All you have to do is give it a and b, right? Okay, one more thing which we could do. Yeah, let's go slow. Let's not directly jump to sum. Okay, let's not directly jump to sum. Let's go like this. Let's say void new function cout hello. Okay, and when I have to call this function, I just have to go int main new function return 0. So what did we do? We made a function called new function, and we told it to print hello, and then in int main I called the same function, and now that function is basically going to give us an output. Understood? Okay, wait, why can't you guys? Acha, you can see it, right? Understood? Yes or no? Give me a sec. Ha. Understood? Yep. Perfect. Now let's code this up and see how it actually looks. Okay, let's see how it's gonna be. Give me 1 second, guys. So sorry. ठीक है, चलो अब इसको एक बार कोड करके देखते हैं how it is actually gonna be. So I'm just gonna come here and I'm gonna just make a new folder called functions. ठीक है, I'll make another folder called patterns. Let's keep all our patterns in that so that it's cleaner. Ha, so let's say function 1.cpp. ठीक है, we'll make a new file called function1.cpp, and now I'm gonna say hashtag include iostream using namespace std. ठीक है, and I'm gonna say void new function cout hello. ठीक है? And then I'm going to say int main new function return 0. ठीक है? So now what are we doing here? We just made a new function. Give me 1 second. Let me increase the size to 24. You'll be able to see it clearly. है ना? We made a new function, and now this new function is going to print hello whenever you call the function. Correct? So let's try it out and see what actually happens. Let's call this function. Let me save this and run the program. G++ function1 .cpp -o function1.exe. Function1. Okay. Wait. One second, hold on. Let's go like this. And then we'll transfer the files again. Ha. Okay? And then we're gonna say function1 dot hyphen function1 dot exe. So we got hello. Did you see? We got hello as an output. Right? Mark, we are going to talk about that. Actually, pointers and memory was supposed to happen today, but yesterday, because of a technical error, we did not take the stream. So functions and arrays had to be completed in the last functions had to be completed in the last stream. Hence, we are doing it today, and we are just going 1 day ahead or 1 day behind on our streams. Understood? Got it? Okay. So this is how we called a function, right? Now, I'm going to tell you the exact point why we've got this function or why we use functions. Now, I don't have to write hello, cout hello again and again. I can just call this function how many ever times I want. So I can go like this. And if I save this and I just do it again, I'm just gonna have hello. Let's say I make it more optimized and write endl, save it, go again. You got so many hellos, right? So because we called the function again and again and again, you keep getting hello, which means one block of code can be executed again and again, right? Yes or no? Understood? Now, I'll ask a quick question to you guys, and you got to answer me. What if this declaration, or not declaration, definition of this function was not over there? What do I mean by that? What if this is not present here? I first call the function and then declare the function. Would that be okay? Would that be fine? That I first call the function in int main, but that function, what it actually does is mentioned after the int main function. Would that be okay? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Do you think that's going to be fine? Main will read first. But yeah, will we get our desired output or not is my question. No, code doesn't become long. It's the same thing. If you see, if you don't write it down and you write it up, it still stays 17 lines. If you remove it from here and you write it here, it still stays 17 lines. So the code is same. But the point is, whenever you're writing your code, this is the main code that you're writing. This is just extra definition, right? So it is better to define your program or your function after your code. Uh, yeah, understood. But would this run or not is my question. Okay, Mark says no, and Mukul says yes. Right? But this will not work because it is directly going to give me the error that the function that you're trying to call, look, the function that you're trying to call was not declared in this scope. Whereas if I do this, what if I do this? Will it work now? If I declare the function, okay, I declare the function, but I don't tell what it does. So declaration, definition. Declaration was the error. Definition was not the error. So now if I go there and we do this, it is gonna run. Understood? Which means that if you declare the function, you can define it later on. But if you don't declare the function, you'll get an error. Understood? Yes or no? Understood the logic behind it? Yeah. It's you can consider it to be a variable. That if I say int n and then use n is one thing. But again, one more thing. If you talk of it to be a variable and you say int n for example, so the value of n over here, if you print it, say how do I explain? If I say int n is equal to 10 for example, I'm just giving you an example, right? And then I print it. So in line 6, if I mention int n is equal to 10, in line 10, if I print n, and then in line 19, I say int n is equal to 20. So the value is going to get updated. Whereas here, when I'm declaring the function, the value is mentioned after we actually call the function, but it still works. Understood? Yes, you can declare then define. That's not an issue. You can declare first and then define. No problems in that. Understood? Cool. Now, there is something in functions that is called as parameters and arguments. Okay? Yes or no? Does anyone know what parameter is? And does anyone know what argument is? Mukul, the main function doesn't need to be called. It directly is executed. The main function is the one that is directly executed. Understood? So what are parameters? What are arguments? See, in functions, you can always pass values, which means say void live stream is my function, parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3. Okay, inside the function we are going to have the code. Understood? Now, for example, let this be here. I'll write it again. For example, void function. Okay, but if I say void live stream string, okay, string, say student name, so we'll call it as to name, and then we'll say cout stu name, and um, let's say let's say endl. ठीक है? Understood? Yes or no? So my function is called live stream, and it is going to take the name of the students and it's going to print the name of the students. And now in my int main, if I come and write that uh, I'm going to call live stream, and inside live stream I'm going to mention, let's take names from the chat. Let's take Mukul, and then I'm going to have live stream. Everyone write a hi in the chat and I'll take your names on the code. Come on. I'm going to take Mark. So there's Mark, there's Mukul. Who else is there in the stream? Let me go to the chat real quick. Write a hi in the chat quick. Yep, I've taken Mark, I've taken Mukul. Okay. Writing Karnataka Queens is too long. Queen, sorry. So I'm just gonna write KQ. Okay. Who else? Anybody else? Good. Perfect. So now this function live stream takes a string parameter called student name, and these are all your arguments. So the parameter is what we pass as default in the function, and the arguments are the actual names. Let's code this up and see. let's write a new code called function2.cpp. Today you might be hearing my keyboard a little more because the mic is too damn close to my keyboard today. Understood? Let me go to the chat as well. Yeah, all good. And now we are gonna have cout, stu name, and l. Cool. And then I'm gonna have int main, and then I'm gonna call live stream, and the first name was Mukul. Then I'm gonna call live stream again. The second name was Mark. Then I'm gonna call live stream again, and then I'm gonna type KQ. Let's return 0 and finish the code. Cool. Function 2.cpp. Oh, sorry. G++ function 2.cpp -o function 2.exe dot hyphen function 2.exe. Understood? So we got all the three names from the chat. Understood? Clear till here, guys? Yes or no? Give me a quick yes or no in the chat. Let me open the chat on my phone as well. Got it? Perfect. Moving forward. So now we know what parameters are, what arguments are, correct? Right? Now, there is also something called as a default parameter. For example, like I know in every class that I take here, I have seen Mark as a student, right? So if I come here and I say void live stream, okay? So I know that there are various students who come in, correct? And Mark is a student who always comes in. So I'll say string stu name Mark cout stu name and l. And then again in int main, I'm gonna have live stream. We're gonna have Mukul. Then I'm gonna have live stream. This time I will not pass any parameter, and then I'm gonna have live stream, and we're gonna have KQ. Understood? Hi Somadeep. We are doing functions in C++ today. Okay. So now if you see, I have passed a parameter string called stu name in my function, and it has a default value called mark. When I say live stream Mukul in quotes is gonna update stu name to Mukul, and it's gonna print Mukul. If I say stu name KQ, it's gonna update it to like live stream KQ. It's gonna update the stu name to KQ and then print KQ. But in the second function call, I am not updating the name. I am not passing a parameter, which means it is going to use the default parameter. Let's code this up and see how it looks. And we'll know if we are going in the right direction or not. So I'm going to say function 3.cpp. This one is default parameter function code. So hashtag include iostream using namespace void livestream string stu name is equal to mark cout. What's the name? What's the code? Stu name endl, and then we'll also have int main and we'll have live stream Mukul, then we'll have live stream and no parameter, then we'll have live stream and KQ. Understood? Clear till here? Okay, let's see if we can run this up. Do you see? I never passed mark as a string when I was calling the functions over here, right? I only passed Mukul and KQ. Mark was a default parameter in my function. Understood? Yes or no? Come on, give me a yes or no, guys. Quick. And after this, correct. Yes, it is treating your name as a default string. Perfect. Now the last topic in parameters would be multiple parameters that we're going to discuss today. That's going to be the last thing. Okay. So let's say multiple parameters. Correct. Let's do it. So when I say multiple parameters, it actually means that in my single function, in my void new function, I am going to pass parameter 1, parameter 2, and I'm going to use, like, it can go on for how many ever you want. I'm just going to take 2 for now, and you can work around inside your code using both the parameters. Let's see how that works. I just want to change the color of this pen. I'm so bored now. Yeah, let's go. Let's use this. Yeah, so let's say I'm doing something like this. Um, oh, yeah. So I'm gonna say, um, okay, what's happening with this pen, man? Yeah. So I'm gonna say void new function, and I'm gonna say string name int age. Okay, and I'm gonna see out name age. So name space age and L. Okay, and then I'm gonna just go int main, and I'm gonna say new function Mukul, say 8. I'm just gonna call everybody 18. I don't know how old you guys are. New function mark 18, new function KQ 18. Cool. So what's happening this time? I'm actually giving two different. So can we add different? Yeah. You can have different data types. That's what I did here. If you see, that's what I'm doing here. I'll show you in the code. Hold on. Let's make a new, because I like writing it in the code more than writing it on the pen and paper. Multiple parameters. Let's say hashtag include IO stream using namespace std, and now I'm gonna have void new function string name, and I'm gonna have int age. Okay, and we're gonna see out name is age years old and L. Understood? And now I'm just gonna go int main new function Mukul 18. Oh, okay, 19. New function mark 19. New function KQ 19. Understood? So what did I do? I have two different data types. I have string, I have int, and I have passed two different parameters. Let's see if this code works. See? Do you see? So Mukul is 19 years old, Mark is 19 years old, KQ is 19 years old. Understood? Easy to understand? Man, even I hate coding on paper. All my teacher forced us to code on paper on an exam. Just simple see out using a ballpoint pen, and I pass a messy paper. That's bad. I don't really like. I'm okay explaining it on paper, but I really don't like writing code on paper. I rather prefer coding it. One thing which I like is dry runs. So if I've written a code, I love to dry run it on paper because I used to do that a lot because it clears out a lot of logic. It builds a lot of logic for you. So logic building becomes really nice if you're doing it that way. Sorry. Understood, guys? Yes or no? Okay, dokes. So I hope you guys understood the part of functions and parameters and arguments, how to create functions, how to call functions. Now in tomorrow's stream, we will be looking at function overloading. We'll be looking at arrays and we'll be looking at strings. These are the three topics we'll cover tomorrow. A very bit of functions, that too also if we have time. But arrays and strings is something we will be doing tomorrow anyhow. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the stream so far. And I am gonna see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, the way you explain stuff makes it more clear. I'll do dry run like that if I can't understand. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock.